turn, now put their boot in, and then go.
We had it out for a minute, we should have put it on, we decided to fly into the fire before we were warm. If he brushes his wings, just hold them out, else you get punched in the face. Bird is the word,
I agree, yeah.
Bird is the word, You got owl feather in your cap.
I put it as our plume.
Yeah, we've done I feel like Ayla won't be happy that we've named him Dorito. Because she's going to be baptised Dorito now. He's being baptised
and they use it in the Second World War.
Fantastic. What was in there? Was that an Imperial Russian badge or something?
That is a Finnish. That was a Finnish thing. They put kind of brass markers, I think, on guns owned by the Civil Guard.
Oh, okay.
I think.
But that somehow.
But they removed it. They removed them in the 1950s, 1960s. Because they kept these in service for quite a long time.
Yeah.
They got rid of them from storage only about 60s.
Thank you.
So. Indeed.
Oh goodness. And what's this one?
That is another M9130.
Right,
just
fine stock and woodwork.
Yes, that was quite interesting. We're not quite sure what the story of that stock is because it's it's the best Soviet stock I've ever seen.
It's really interesting. Does it?
Yes, it does.
The usual? Can I?
Yep, you may.
We're going to win today, aren't we? We're going to win. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to hide in my tent.
You're looking at who we are?
Smile. Smile.
You might be the tack man, I don't know.
Really wrong nose. Have you seen him gone down the motorway?
Oh, yeah. We have a target set up, and it's like, oh yeah,
Oh, good. That Sawyer as well.
Lift your ass. I'm shaking his ass. No, you're going to take photographs.
Yeah.
You've got to ask questions. We're a medical unit, allegedly. We're a medical unit, allegedly. A hospital bed for evac.
Yeah.
And this, all this stuff here is stuff that you'd use in an evac unit.
Yeah.
A radio to say that you'd be, you know, so-and-so's coming in and he's got from the medic in the field.
Yeah.
And there's a little bag there with all the bits and pieces on. That's what a medic in the field would carry just to do emergency repairs on the guy when he's in the field. They bring him back to us, we get him on a bed, sort all the bits and pieces out and stitch up all the holes, and then he'd be evac'd out from us to a hospital just behind the front line.
Right, like MASH.
Yeah, effectively. Maybe not as far behind as MASH were. But yeah, exactly right. At the far end, poliomyelitis vaccine for vaccinating the population. Which the Americans did throughout the whole of the war. They evacuated all the kids wherever they went. The kids come around and they got inoculated against poliomyelitis, diphtheria, German measles, and something else, and I forgot what it was. But the main thing that came out of this, and I forgot to bring it, was if the wound couldn't be stitched in the field, they used super glue. And that's where the first mass use of super glue was. It was actually used in the Second World War, but the medics in the Vietnam War took it to a fine art. So if you had a flap of skin, they'd super glue it and just stick it down. Little known facts. This is what medics carried, rear echelon guys. They had one of them because they had to protect themselves. And they also carried a pistol in a holster, an M19 Colt pistol. Bit of a contradiction. Gun, doctors, gun, medic.
That's where it differs from MASH then.
So yeah, this is us. And Coca-Cola, of course. Supplied by the Coca-Cola company to the soldiers in Vietnam. Every day, wasn't it, John?
Every man should be able to get a Coke.
Every man, wherever he was, should be able to get a Coke. Free of charge.
They used to get like choppers full of beer, just like flown onto the LZ, like stuff like that. Just like pushing crates of beer off.
And they were they all volunteers or conscript?
No. They started conscription, didn't they? They originally started with volunteers, and then
regular army. 173rd was the first thing this is, and they were regular army. Every single one of them was.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
Aim it at a truck where they're a bit darker.
So the single point is a really weird optic. If you aim down sights, that's literally using stars. If you aim down the sight with how you would normally, and then open the other eye.
You just got to find it.
I don't know if it's doing it for you, but your mind tricks you into thinking it's a single red dot. So there's a black ring around the red dot. With both eyes open, your mind gets rid of, your brain gets rid of the black ring. So it just leaves the red dot. So it's an early form of a red dot sight. That's from 1970, that sight. Yeah, they were made in South Africa, so a lot of the Rhodesians use them on their FNFAL. FNFAL rifles. But there is a picture floating around of a guy with a G3 using one. So I never thought that would work. No, they were genuine sights. They're quite rare these days.
It's like I've got to close one eye though.
It is. It's a weird sight. It's made for snap shooting. So it's, you don't see them every day. They're quite rare these days.
It's like you can't live
Well, most red dots are designed to do that. So the early, 1980s red dots, they have a tint adjuster, so you can tint the glass basically, so it's black, so it works same as this. Don't know why, but it's what it is.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
We are going to be firing 200 grams of black powder from the gun. When this was firing real rounds, okay, it would have over 1 kilogram. All right. So just think, we're only going to do a couple of 100 grams, not 1 kilogram. Because if we did 1 kilogram, I think you'd lose your clothes and hair over there. For those of a nervous disposition, what we will do is we'll count down together from 10 down to the firing, which will be at 0. Is that all right? Yeah. So that means you can have your cameras ready and you'll know when the bang's going to happen. We don't want to give anyone a heart attack. If you are of a nervous disposition and you don't like big bangs, you've come to the wrong place. But if you're going to stick around, you can put your hands over your ears, all right? Don't put your fingers in your ears, because that's just distorting your ear canals, right? You just want to cover your ears up. And you can open your mouth if you think that makes a difference. There will be some smoke that comes out the end of it, so just hold your breath if you don't want to breathe that in. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay then, let's start off. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Yep, that's it, guys. So next we've got an iconic German weapon. MP40, well done. Top mark. Okay, not a Schmeiser. Okay, that is a nickname that was not used by the Germans. But they did. So this again is a blank firer made for reenactors. So you've got a group of 20, you've probably got about 5 or 6 people using these. Okay, they're only made for reenactors, so no one else can buy them. So don't try. You won't go very far. This again is a little bit temperamental. Okay, but fingers crossed and get some shots.
However, in this case, it gives a more authentic experience because the spent gun was an unreliable weapon. So anything fired that we return here are purely authentic experiences. This is authentic failure to fire. So we'll see what happens with this one. Is the grease gun. This is the American version, basically, or answer to the stem. Yeah, I know. Uses very similar magazine design to the stem, made out of stampings, metal. We're going to see how this one works.
We'll give it a go. That one was used in the Spanish Civil War, the one Simon's holding there. It's Portuguese made, and they're made by countries all over Europe.
Theo 3 rounds was in use in both World Wars, and Dave here is going to fire off a few rounds for us.
See my bud?
Battalion attack. So we're going to give you 4 rounds here, 3 rounds of course fire.
It's known as a garden gun, and it was the only thing that the Germans were allowed to own after the Versailles Treaty after World War I, capable of possibly injuring a rat. Okay? However, it is very, very loud. Okay? So please be prepared and put the fingers in your ears. Okay?
How is it very loud if you can kill a rat?
Thank you guys, we'll be handing out some spent prizes.
Links. Links. Links.